Page 332. Yedi nefesh av harachaman meshoch avdecha el retzonecha yarut avdecha kimo ayah yishach aveh el muhadarata yerav lo yedidutecha menofetu bechotam Adonahem Zichalam Nafshi chalat Ahavatecha Ana elna Rifana la Teharot la Noam zipan Az titazeh Vetitraper V'chaytala Shimchatonam Yadadai-dai-dai-dai Yadadai-dai-dai-dai Yadadai-dai-dai 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 Page 332. Vatikyahemu narachamecha v'chusana al ben ahuvecha tizekoma nichsofti lirot b'tiferet uzecha ana eli hamdat libi husana be'anati talam higalena ufros habibi Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. It is so lovely to be with all of you. Thank you all for being here this evening on Shabbat Acharei Mot Kedoshim. I have to kvel for a moment because my daughter will become bat mitzvah. She became bat mitzvah on Tuesday, which is why we made her light Shabbat candles this evening. But officially in front of everybody, she gets to chant some words of Torah in front of all of you tomorrow morning. You will notice that tonight's service is going to be a little bit more abridged because I didn't want to steal any of Naomi's thunder. All of you are invited back in the morning. We have plenty of sandwiches after services for everybody. And she will be chanting Torah and offering a Devar Torah, some words of Torah, her own very mature 13-year-old interpretation of the Holiness Code, Leviticus 19, which is not an easy section. So I'd like to welcome all of you to this Shabbat and invite you all to see this as the prelude to what happens in the morning tomorrow. You do not need a formal invitation to show up in the morning. We would love to have you as our guests. Thank you so much to Ron and to Rose who are running our live stream this evening, and to everybody who is going to be a part of tonight's service. We are going to be using Siddur Mishkan Tefillah. If you have one of the copies, it's blue. It's got those pretty gold flames on the front. You're welcome to use that. If you are online and you do not yet have a copy of our Siddur, please head over to sinaireno.org/live and you can download our virtual Siddur. We would love for you to participate along with us tonight. We turn together to page 6 in our Siddur as we read responsively. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May the synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. It is my pleasure to invite up Rachel Rosenzweig, who is Naomi's godmother, and Tama Etra, who is Toby's godmother, to light our Shabbat candles this evening. If you'd like to follow along with Rachel and Tama, you can follow along on page 2.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adikner Shel Shamayim
We turn together to page 12 as we continue in Kabbalat Shabbat in our service for receiving Shabbat with L'chuna Ranana. All of you should have received a small blue paper. Don't worry, if you're online, you did not get a piece of small blue paper. It's just the next song. We will be singing together Julie Silver's Shir Chadash, which you can find on your daf if you're here in person, and just scroll on to the next page if you're online.
Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru I will sing unto God a new song.
On the evening of Shabbat, we invite a very special guest into our midst. And that guest is, as my tots always tell us, the bride, the Shabbat bride. The Sabbath comes in this beautiful white gown, and we invite her in to spend some time with us. We all get a little bit of an extra soul on Shabbat, so I hope you have all welcomed your extra soul in this evening, and you feel a little full of love and warmth. We turn together on page 20, and we will sing Lecha Dodi, Come and Let's Meet Our Beloved. We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. I know, Benjamin's not here, so I'm not torturing him with 4. It's no fun when he's not here to go, really, 4? And on the 9th and final verse, if you are able, please rise in body or in spirit and turn to our exterior doors or say hi to Jay Goldberg in the back. And we will bow together and say, B'li Kala, as we invite the Sabbath bride as our guest for the next about 25 hours.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. La 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala. Panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Shamor b'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shamo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila la 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 chadodi likrat kala. Panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Likrat Shabbat lechuvanecha, ki himakor havaracha, merosh mikadam nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila la 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 lecha dodi. Likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Hitorari, kiva orek kumi ori, ori shidaveri, kivona. Chadodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola. Toch emunei am segula, boicha la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. La 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat Kabbalat. You may be seated. We turn to the very next page, page 22, as we sing one of our psalms for Shabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, a psalm, a song for Shabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי אסון, עלי נבל, עלי היגיון מכינות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון. וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון.
We turn together to page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon u'vyom echon, u'v'chayei decho beit Yisrael, bagala bagala, u'bizman kariv v'meru, amen. Yahei Shmei Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'Yishabach, V'Yitba'ar, V'Yitramam, V'Yitnaseh, V'Yitadar, V'Yitaleh, V'Yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha Brihu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Tamiran be'ama v'meru, amen. We all rise for the Baruch Hu on page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We turn together in the Hebrew on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmorotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Together on the top of page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. The Shema can be found on the next page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. The rest of the Shema can be found on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha v'nibarta bam v'shivtacha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadeha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha laman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kadoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti atchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn together to page 39 at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi Chamocha can be found on the next page.
Tilot Ose Fele Nora Tilot Ose Fele Malchut Achara Uvanecha Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe Zeli Anu V'Amru Zeli Anu V'Amru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed Yai Dai Yai Dai 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 Yai Dai 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 Yai Dai Yai Dai 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 Yai Dai 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 Dai.
We turn to page 43 at the bottom and we read together. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeis sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Yismachu can be found on the next page.
Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'korei oneg, v'korei oneg. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Mekadashei, Mekadashei Shavi, Kulam Yisbehu ve'yitzamdu metuvecha, Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'korei oneg, v'korei oneg, Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'hashvi ratzita bo v'kidasho, v'amdat yamim oto karata, v'chelem ma'aseh b'reishit. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'korei oneg, v'korei oneg, Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismachu v'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat.
We turn together to page 46. Before we rise for the Amidah, we are going to do a very traditional Amidah, which means that together we're going to chant the Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, and then we are going to take time for ourselves to go through a silent Amidah from page 46 all the way through to page 62. Take some time either reading in the Hebrew if you prefer, in any of our interpretive readings, or just letting your mind wander. This is your time to commune with God and have a moment of quiet here at the very end of the week. We turn to page 46 and we all rise.
Adonai sepatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 62.
Oh, say shalom, b'imrama. Oh, say shalom, b'imrama. We are shalom. We are shalom. Shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one bring peace down. May the one bring peace down. May the one bring peace down to us. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the night, there will not be a Torah study or a Torah service this evening. There will not be a Torah study tomorrow morning. So if you are part of my Torah study regulars, don't come. Y'all are supposed to be in here tomorrow at 10. And we are going to be with one of our Bat Mitzvah students who has worked very hard to chant 7 aliyot and to prepare a Devar Torah that she was flabbergasted with 7 pages once we printed it out. It's double spaced in 18 font. It's fine. It's not that long as it seems like when she says it. She's like, Mom, it's so long. But please come and hear Naomi chant Torah tomorrow morning and give us her words of Torah. She will be talking tomorrow morning about fairness, which is a huge part of our holiness code. So please come and enjoy that in the morning. I'm trying to get y'all out of here before like 8:39 to make sure that you're all fresh and happy and ready to listen to some Torah and eat some sandwiches in the morning. So we will be turning to page 253. Whenever we are together in community, we take a moment to think of those in our lives who are in need of healing. And we want to remember especially those who have been on our list for a while. At the moment, we remember Laura Bartleson, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Laura Borsoff, Sue Burkhammer, Laura Cohen, Robert Dickens, Jeffrey Four, Alan Gordon, Stephen Gold, Margaret Haberlin, aka Graham, Marlene Harris, Harvey Higdon, Kevin Knox, Dave Levine, Harav Miriam Bat Shifra of Pinchas, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Bat Sarah, Tim Ober, Judy Ramos, Sarah Bat Chava, Marianne Schenker, Steve Weidman, Bobby Wells, and Usher Zalech. Of course, we remember all those who are affected by the coronavirus and the Jewish and other communities of the Ukraine. If you are online, please feel free to add to those names in the chat. And if you are here in person, please feel free to add to those names as my hand sweeps over you.
The McLean family, Patrick Flanagan.
Emma Guadalupe Rodriguez and Carrie Cameron.
Thanks. The Griffin family, Noah Leah.
Alyssa Peters.
Tonda Debbie Durbin. Logan, Marcus Logan, and Campus One.
Thank you.
Ursula and Kim Anderson.
For all those names that we've said aloud, those that were named in the chat, and those whose names remain in our hearts, our song for healing can be found on page 253 in the middle of the page. Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avo
Mekol habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekol habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
It is my pleasure to invite up Aaron Zinner and Yuri Reingold to open up our ARC doors for the Aleinu. We turn to page 283 as we all rise. Each of you gets a letter.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latzeit tfilah lioseh bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo samach chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'na'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo You may be seated. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. At this moment, we are remembering Cookie Javinsky, Carl Weinberg, Al Grossman, Jeff Blank, Richie Zorn, Catherine Linsky Foley, Hank Froelich, Setsuko Olenichek, Barbara Gonzalez, Aaron Yosef, Tova Bat Meir Vitirza, Raymond Russell Riker, Judith Tampkin, David Torchman, Lorenzo Otero, Anita Goldwasser. This week we're commemorating the yahrzeit of Joseph Burns, Toby Marks Cutler, Ellen Ott, Betty S. Goodman, Rose Rubin Jacobs, Raymond D. Slotkin, Louis Braslowski, Seymour Goldberg, Bessie Greenfield, Louis Rosenthal, Arlene Sider, Anita Ellen Altman, Marvin Daling, Sigmund L. Heller, and Carol G. Salinas. On this special weekend for Naomi's family, we are remembering Sylvia Otero, Richard J. Haberlin Sr., Dorothy Eiser, Kenneth Eiser, Joyce Eiser, Layla Goss, Simon Goss, Harry Cook, Hilda Cook, Jay Schicker, John Schicker, Neil Schicker, and Ruth Schicker, Lois Abt, A. Raymond Abt, Robert Zober, and Shirley Zober. If there are other names that you'd like to add in the chat or hear aloud, please do so as my hand sweeps over you.
Rabbi Harold Kushner.
Phyllis Zinner.
Buzz Cotton, Sterling Strotein,
Mike and Trinity Gutierrez.
Evan Spike,
Jessica Griffin.
Mary Ann Bennett.
For all those names that we mentioned and those whose names remain in our hearts, the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. If it is your custom, please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon u'vyomachon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv, v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivrach, le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran me'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all who mourn. And together we say, amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Now I'm going to embarrass my friends who are here. Who here was part of the initial Torah study group that I was in the Torah study group in Lancaster, Pennsylvania? Excellent. Who here is a current member of the Temple Sinai Torah study group, which is modeled after said Torah study group? Ronan and Renee, if you do not have your hands up, I'm going to embarrass you by calling you out by name so everybody can see you don't have hands up. Okay, good. So y'all should be friends at the Oneg. We are going to be ending our, Jay Goldberg, would you do announcements for us? And then I will embarrass all my Torah study friends. It's my pleasure to invite up Jay Goldberg, our outgoing CFO, right? No, you're a VP now. Yeah, our outgoing VP, to give us a few announcements for this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to everybody who is joining us via Zoom or YouTube or however, Facebook, however you're joining us. A few announcements. First of all, Rabbi Sarah, thank you as always for a wonderful sermon or service. No sermon tonight. No, so we'll get the sermon tomorrow from Naomi.
We were hard enough on that one.
Yes, thank you to my lovely wife, Amy, for helping me greet. Thank you to Ron and Rosie for doing tech for us. Very much appreciated. Our Oneg tonight is going to be hosted by the Zober Eiser family. Please join us tomorrow.
We have plenty of food.
Either here in person, for those of you who are here, we expect to see most of you tomorrow. For those of you who are online and can't make it here tomorrow, please join us online. It's going to be inspiring, I'm sure. And I sort of feel like if Naomi's talking about the holiness code, somehow she had to work Swiss cheese into it. But I don't know for sure. So stay tuned and join us tomorrow and you will find out.
Don't encourage him.
That's what my wife always says. We do need Torah chanters. If you are interested, please contact the rabbis or Marilyn Roberts. We certainly need additional live stream texts. And if you're interested, please reach out to Michael Gorden. Again, for those of us who are here, please join us in the social hall for some challah, juice, a nosh, socialize in celebration of Naomi's bat mitzvah.
We have a very Cleveland Oneg with coconut bars.
Oh, Amy's hand is up. Amy's from Cleveland, so she misses them.
We do this mostly for Amy.
If you're online, please stay and join us for the Yisma Zoom right after this service. Again, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, Naomi's bat mitzvah. It will be incredible, I am sure. She is insightful. She is well beyond her years, and I am sure we will learn something. I know I will. There is no Torah study, obviously, because we can't do Torah study and Naomi's bat mitzvah at the same time. That would be interesting at best. But if you do want to join, it's next Saturday. Two Saturdays. Sorry, May 13th.
Next Saturday is Jameson.
Oh, that's right. Next Saturday is Jameson. So please join us again next Saturday.
Not the whiskey, the boy.
Hey, this is whiskey business you're talking about here. For Jameson Foley's bar mitzvah. Okay, let's see. I'm going to skim this quickly, and I'm not reading everything because there's way too much. Let's see. Thursday, May 4th, 4:15, Torah for Tots. I know you guys here are all a little old, but please bring the young ones to it. It's a fun time. Everybody enjoys it. And Sunday, May 21st, 12:30 to 4 is our annual Sinai Mitzvah Day. We're doing a building cleanup. We're doing a blood drive. We're doing a park cleanup. There's a flyer in the lobby for details. You can go to our website, sinaireno.org, and find out more details. Yep, I was going to get to that right afterwards. But if you're going to be here, and if you're a member, or if you're online, please join us at 10:30 for our Sinai annual meeting, where you guys get to vote in a whole new slate of, well, not a whole new slate of officers, but a slate of officers, some of whom are continuing, some of whom are brand new. And then my last thing, Sinai Library, they have a program called Restories or Restories, depending on Restories. Okay. Loaning and delivering books to homebound members. Email sinaireno@gmail.com for information. And again, please join us afterwards in the social hall, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks.
Sure.
And I wanted to, if anybody didn't notice, all of you can turn to the very back and clap for Alexa, who's the one who's holding her hands over her face. Yes. So as you can see, for those of you who are here in the sanctuary, we moved our beautiful wooden doors to the back of the sanctuary so that we can enjoy them every single week. And we took these wood pieces that were kind of around the door and melting off the wall. Ron Ficote of Premier Finishing refinished them, and Ron and Alexa what happened? It's fine, Alexa. Ron and Alexa just put them up this weekend, so thank them so much for this spruce up. This has been a long time coming, trying to get everything resorted as part of our building freshen up. If you are curious about the next project, because there is a next project, feel free to volunteer your services to help out with Michael Gorden in the back row and the Building and Grounds Committee, because they would love a couple of extra people with some extra elbow grease to help us with our next project to spruce up our building. Okay, Torah study folks. We've got the old Torah study folks, not like old Torah study folks, just like the early 2000s Torah study folks. And now we have the current Torah study folks. We will be ending our service on page 328 with MiPL, also known as Eina Deer. This is the rabbi's version of the "We are better Torah studiers than literally anybody else in the world." And this is what they used to sing at the very end of their time in the Beit Midrash together. So I figured, since all of my Torah study buddies are in the same place at the same time, which never happens, we're all going to sing this with gusto. Okay, then. We're all going to sing this with gusto on page 328. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Ein nadir ka'Adonai, ve'ein baruch k'ven Amram. Ein gedola ka'Torah, ve'ein darshaneha k'Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Ein hadur ka'Adonai, ve'ein vatik k'ven Amram. Ein ka'Torah, ve'ein chachameha k'Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Ein kahor ka'Adonai, ve'ein yachid k'ven Amram. Ein kabira ka'Torah, ve'ein lamdaneha k'Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Ein podeh ka'Adonai, ve'ein tzadik k'ven Amram. Ein kedosha ka'Torah, ve'ein tomcheha k'Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. MiPL, MiPL, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you are here in person, please join us in the social hall for Kiddush and Motzi. If you are online, please look below here. Hopefully, we've got our Zoom code up for our Yisma Zoom, and I will be joining you in a few minutes after I'm done with Kiddush and Motzi. I'll come in and say hi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Yeah.